Hello?
Whoa,
yeah!
hello.
Dang! Putting our setup to shame.
Yeah.
This is yeah, this is just I have a green screen, and so this is like the free Discord background.
Amazing. See, I almost clicked one on the backgrounds, but I haven't had my green screen up. Wait, can you hear us?
You have a
Okay.
I have a snowball. That's what I use.
Oh, yeah, it was, like really cheap, and I didn't feel like shelling out anymore for Twitch streaming, so it kind of just stuck.
I mean, they work really good. I do an audio drama for Puzzle Valley, and that's literally, and Eldric Journeys, and that's literally what I make everyone have. I'm like, please just get that. It's easy for me to mess with. Just please grab it. It's super cheap and it's super decent.
Yeah, wildly good quality.
Yeah, exactly. So. The Blue Yeti sucks, I will say. Blue Yeti, over time, I am so mad that I got that.
The thing that I've heard with those is, like, from you mainly, but in my own whatever, is that they're good as long as you don't touch the table they're on. Mm-hmm. You don't touch the table, they're beautiful. Oh. Like, if you're just, like, barely touching it, you're like a ba-dum, 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 sometimes. But yours sounds great.
Weirdly enough, I had a Sapphire, like an interface that was hooked up to my MacBook, and I would record like music to it, like while I'm just like writing music, I would use it, and it would like have inputs, everything would be great, it's super high quality. And then I got a new MacBook, and it was like, we don't want to work anymore with your MacBook. Yep. So I've been using this blue snowball like in my guitar hole to record, and
that's all good.
And I'm like, why does this actually sound good?
Because it sounds good.
Like, man, if you've seen the wires that I've got going for my soundboard and microphones and shit, damn. It's just how it works.
The amount of makeshift stuff you have to do to make anything look good, just don't, like, that's a good, what we have.
I took a picture of that earlier. There's a ring light on a Rexy from 44 Club of how ridiculous. It's just hanging the ring light on it right now.
That's all you need is just ingenuity.
Hey. If it works, do it.
Our keyboard was Arby's earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So my name is Shannon, like DJ was saying earlier, graphic designer. And I just keep adding all these weird titles to my name. People think that people are always like, oh, you're doing so many cool things, you're so talented, but I'm just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
So, like, someone will come up, hey, do you know how to, like, do this? And I'll be like, no, but I'll do it, and then I'll know how to do it after.
Exactly. No, but I can try, is what I usually say.
We don't live stream ever, and, like, we were so nervous walking into this. Mostly about the internet, to be honest.
Yeah, the internet in my town is ass.
Yeah, so we were just worried about that, and that's just the mentality, that's the vibe, just as Tim was just saying, which is, like, just go out there and make some stuff. I just wanted to tell a quick story about how I found out that you even made music, and this was, like, years ago. I went to a local show at a small little venue, and as I was walking in, I paid money to my uncle, who I didn't know was there, and I was like, what are you doing? And then I saw your mom, my aunt is sitting at the merch stand too, and I was like, what are you doing here? And it's like, oh yeah, Shannon is playing music. I'm like,
hell
what?
Yeah.
I was so excited, and I'm not. This is kind of. Well, to me, I was like, "Oh my god, parents supporting their children? What is this?" I was so excited for it. I can't remember what the band you were in. I think it was As We Once Were, but I didn't want to say that and be wrong. Okay, cool. How is that performing in front of people?
I think it's different for everybody. I had really bad social anxiety. I mean, like, I still have pretty bad social anxiety, but like, I feel like being in the band was like, I remember our first show, like our very first show, and our bassist was like, he's a sweetheart, but sometimes he wouldn't make the best decisions. So we were a band only for like maybe 5 months at the time, and we had never played a show before. So it was like we had 4 songs written. It was kind of like we were taking it seriously, but weren't really taking it seriously because we were all in college at the time. Yeah. So we were like all swamped with that. And he's like, hey, I found us a show. And we're like, oh, cool. And we were expecting, like, because I know you came to the show at the skate shop. So we were like expecting like a skate shop level thing, and he goes, yeah, we're opening up for the red jumpsuit apparatus at Mojo's, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I remember like that being our first show, and I remember like 5 minutes before going on, just being in the back, like I was so nervous. I put sunglasses on, and there's a meme. I have it saved on my phone, so I should send it to you.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should.
You know the episode of SpongeBob, where Patrick Star is like drumming in that band, and he has the sunglasses on.
Yeah, that's how I was gonna do the.
So someone took a picture of me, and I look exactly like him, and I was like,
oh my
no,
God.
because I was so nervous. I was like, I can't go on stage without like my comfort, and I had sunglasses with me, and I'm like, okay, that's it. But I remember just thinking like, why did I do this? I should have never joined a band. And
me hitting the stream button.
No, yeah, that's how it started.
That's how it feels with some things every time, no matter how many times you do it, man. It's just part of it, almost, even though it's what you love. It's just like, oh, why do I do this? I don't want to do this. All right, let's do this.
Just every time I get into any call with anybody, like
this has been good today. Every call
it's been real fun. Everyone's been real chill, and I'm really enjoying it. Also, is that Willie in the chat? He's just hello, fellow.
Yep. Yep.
Hell yeah.
I haven't talked to these cats for Jesus,
forever.
Years. Hello, Willie.
Yeah, I know, because
yes,
you just called him Willie.
Does he not go by Willie anymore?
He's not 8 anymore.
Oh no, he's I forgot how old he was. I think he was in like 8th grade, and he's like, I'm not Willie anymore. I'm Will.
Oh, I was expecting William.
I'll be calling you Will then from now on, because we're related, but we didn't get a lot of time to bond or anything like that. I just remember being a kid and someone's like, yeah, Shannon plays the saxophone. I'm like, oh, they're too cool for me. I just walk in, I can't even talk to them.
I relate to that. I'm like, oh man, they're cool. I can't.
Yo, you want to talk about the saxophone? I was forced to play the saxophone because Willie here wanted one, and then he didn't play it. So my mom's like, well, we're recycling this because I wanted to be in percussion.
Oh, bruh, same.
I wanted to
be in percussion, and they're like, no, little ass me had to play baritone.
God.
They're like, no, there's already full. I'm like, there's an open slot that always fills out. And she's like, well, no. I'm like, okay.
I wanted to play the flute really badly, and I did actually get a flute. And then my mom was like, "No, he's gonna be gay. He's gonna learn how to play the skin flute." You know, I'm lucky guess, but then they made me get the saxophone.
Did they
and they're
have that at Guitar Center?
You're not in any bands right now, are you?
No. Yeah, the band broke up in 2018. We had creative differences with a member of the band. So our bass player, who I'm still like really good friends with, was like, I think it's time to get a big boy job. And I was like, you know what? You might be right. Like, I should go do that. And so it was kind of like a mutual, like, hey, we're going to leave the band. You're welcome to keep going. Yeah. And our member that we had creative differences with was like, you guys are ruining my life. How could you? And it kind of ended pretty poorly with him.
Yeah.
After that, like, I got the full-time job and stopped playing music, and it sucked for like 4 years. So I just recently started playing again. But like, I know you were talking about like evolution, and I think that was like the biggest thing, was like being in the band helped me kind of like get over a lot of social anxiety, because like it doesn't, like, every time, like you were right, like every time you hit like the live button, like it doesn't get better, but it kind of does get better after a while. Like you get
faster.
Used to it.
It takes a lot less time for like the nerves to kind of go down and you to be able to like go. Because I'm good at like hosting and shit, but just like the thought of going up to it and then it starts like, oh, I'm just looking at my screen by myself or with one person here.
I mean, I have a good anecdote for that, which is that my dad forced me to be in wrestling for about 8 years of my life. I think nothing is going to be worse social anxiety than getting my ass kicked in front of everybody in singlet, with just everything being seen by an entire crowd. So I do get nervous and I get social anxiety bad, but I always just think back to all those times where I got my ass beat in front of an entire crowd and going, yeah, nothing's going to be worse than that.
Well, especially now because you're choosing to do what you want to do now, right? Yes, so it's like, it's kind of better alone, like in that sense.
When I was growing up, you were the type of person, as a kid, I was like, man, I want to be like them. I want to be cool. I want to be creative and all that stuff. And so it's nice to see that you have turned that into something that is your own, which is like ShanConArt. Like every time you drop any new art I see, I always think it looks fantastic. I'm so jealous of it, to be honest, but I'm very proud to see it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Didn't Jack Black commission some of your art?
Yeah, that was Jacksepticeye was doing the his like Thankmas. So it's his like yearly fundraiser. So he was having Jack Black on as a guest, and they needed like so I did all of the motion graphics for like the whole live segment. So I did like all the overlays and everything. So that was just part of like the overlay going into this segment where they were like playing giant Tetris for like an hour.
That's cool. Damn.
But that's still really cool. Like just being able to say that you participated in making that work. The gears of anything are just made by 80 different people, and just being like, oh well, I was only one gear of it, but like you still helped make it happen, because if you weren't there, it wouldn't be the same.
Also, Kayla's watching right now. If you've seen, she commented. She said she's watching. Shannon is really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Kayla, you'll be fine. Of course.
You said you were making music using the snowball. Do you still make music, or do you just like play around with it?
Yeah, so I started writing again maybe 3 months ago. Nothing that's like ready for anybody else but my ears to hear.
Yeah, that's how it's
But I started Twitch streaming, so I draw like pictures live and stuff on Twitch. And so I added in a channel point redeem to make me sing.
Yeah,
so
that's nice.
That's pretty much the extent of like the music right now. I don't know, just fucking around with it and playing live on Twitch if people redeem their points to make me do it.
That is very cool.
That's kind of the theme of talking to a lot of creators. Everyone has that unreleased stuff that they do.
Yeah, it's just part of it, dude. Like
they either don't feel confident in it, or they're like it's not done, or
it's not good enough.
It's not good enough. But
they're just scared.
No one thinks that their stuff is perfect. No one's like, drop it. It's good to go.
And if they do, most times it's overhyped. I guess you can't have something that you feel is perfect, but sometimes you got to have a bit of like grain of salt on it. Like you can always get better, even if it's the best you put out.
Real quick, Kayla just said, "Will you be linking Shannon's Twitch?" Yeah, it's ShanConArt on Twitch. I remember when you were doing the October.
Yeah. Inktober?
Dude, I think anybody into spooky shit always tries something with like Inktober or spooky drawing October. And
if you don't want to talk about this, that's completely fine. But I see you post about it all the time about how people who commission you don't treat you right, or don't know how to commission respectfully. And I wanted to kind of give you the platform to kind of just talk about that, because that's another aspect of being a freelance creative that a lot of people want to talk about or do talk about, but they just don't understand it themselves when commissioning people.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff like that I'm posting about that is on like personal Facebook. And so a lot of people that I'm friends with on Facebook are other creatives or other people who want to be creatives, but like are afraid to take that jump. So a lot of that stuff that I'm posting there is like I won't post that on like my Instagram or like my blog and stuff. So I'm kind of like opening the conversation for them to like make those precautions before they do it, kind of, because that's like one of the biggest hurdles that I feel like someone like starts to freelance and then somebody will either not pay them or will steal their work or like not follow a terms, or they won't even have like terms to begin with. And so like I'm just trying to like start the conversation, you know, or some people don't even realize that they're doing it. Like a lot of people when they go to commission art, they might have never done it before, so they'll ask for like 50 different revisions and not realize that they're being rude. It's better than working for a boss.
Yeah. So. I mean, anything with that, editing, photography, anything like that, I'm like, damn, I'd rather do that once a month and get a decent paycheck than work every fucking day for someone I don't like at a place I don't want to be at, doing something I don't want to do.
There's someone I commissioned actually, because I didn't know this either about the revisions thing, especially. I commissioned someone to do the Splat House logo, and I made them revision it like twice. And this was like when I was starting, so please don't flame me, anybody, for this, but I just started trying to commission people, and I asked for 2 revisions, and then they came back with the final thing, and they're like, okay, so that'll be $150. And I was like, but you said it was gonna be 50. And they're like, but the revisions. I was like, I'm broke, but I will get an installment plan. I'll give you like $20 until it's paid. And I just felt so terrible afterwards that I didn't even use the logo, because I just felt awful about how I went about it.
Dude, you know, that's like you're saying, like, don't make shots at you for doing that. See, that's like one of the other things I was talking about. Like, so before I even start a project, I will be like, it costs like, say $100. It costs $100 and you get 3 revisions. And this is what a revision is. It doesn't change the whole concept.
Yeah.
And if it does change the whole concept, like, I'll let you know with a cost before you agree to it. Like,
yeah.
That's also like another reason why like I'll sometimes like post like how my contracts will be. And stuff like that. So I don't think you're in the wrong at all for that one. Like they should have let you know before the revisions happened. Hey, I'm gonna tack on another $50.
Yeah, that's just like a car dealership changing your oil, and then like, oh yeah, we also changed your transmission, buddy. That'll be $1,200.
Yeah,
it's like what?
Yeah.
Especially now in an era of people, everyone's a creative. Everyone's trying to get art made. No one can do it all by themselves. I think there just needs to be more of a conversation for people to understand how it works. Because I freelance edit, and I have a lady who's been blowing up my phone trying to get me to re-edit this one video that I already edited, by the way. And she gave me all this stuff, and I was like, I got a lot of projects, I can't do this. And she's like, I'll give you $75. I'm like, when do you need it by? Oh, tomorrow. No, I'll do it for $150 because that's a rush order. Like, why? It's like, because it's hard. I got a lot of stuff
rush
to do.
order.
Yeah. It's like, I got a lot of stuff to do.
See, people don't even realize, too, like, when someone, like, gives you, because that's, like, something that happens all the time. If someone's like, I need this done. It's just a tiny thing. I need it in an hour. They don't realize that by doing that, like, they're cutting the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got to move many other people's stuff around because of that one person doing that. And sometimes people are like horses with their blinders on, like they're not thinking about like you might have other clients and stuff,
or just a life in general. They're just thinking like
too.
We talked about this earlier about being an actor where they just like dance, sing a song, be funny, and it's like when you're drawing, it's like this is a real human with everything you're doing and more on their own plate, and they're doing this work for you that you want them to do well, and you're just treating them like they're just, I don't know, an art creature.
AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Like something that doesn't have feelings and like get tired or get frustrated or not have a good drawing day or week or month. You know, like sometimes you just can't do shit.
Don't even get me started on AI because I went into, I did that protest down in Chicago, the writer's strike. Like that whole conversation, someone pulled me from the protest line and was talking to me about how, like, why is this happening? And I explained, and then they tried telling me that it was stupid. I was like, shut up. Back to you being a content creator and being a graphic designer. When you first started actually commissioning and freelancing your stuff, were there ever points where you made something for someone, you're like, this is perfect, and then they wanted you to change it, and you're like, but I liked it the other way, though? Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, that logo I had done recently.
Yeah, that happens so much.
Yep.
I've been doing commissions. When did I start? 2013? So it's been about a decade, and that's something that I really had to let go early on, or else I would just be frustrated forever, because I had to understand that, like, the stuff that I was doing, and this is, like, kind of what separates stuff from, like, personal art to work, because it's fun, because, like, I'm working for myself, and I'm doing something I love, but that's what makes it feel like work, when it's somebody else's project. So I have to remind myself, like, this is their baby. It's not my baby.
Yeah.
They're paying me to care about their baby.
I would do, like, a version for my records for myself, and then give them what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, or keep both, but it's so hard to change it, because, like, they'll change the full color scheme sometimes, and I'm like, man, it doesn't look right at all, but if it's what you want, sure.
See, that's where I'll put the version that I like on my website.
Yeah, exactly.
They could do whatever they want with the versions they like.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, I think your version's kind of mid, even though I had to make it, but I like mine more.
When did you start feeling confident enough to actually be like, you know what, I can sell this stuff?
I don't know if I've ever have. I guess, like, it started with, like, so I was making, like, my own band stuff, and that's where it was kind of like making art for, like, your family or your friends. Like, it was like I wasn't getting paid for it. It was like in-house or internal. And so I was doing that, and of course we started playing shows and making friends, and they're like, oh, you designed that, you can design ours. And that's, like, how I got my first commission. It was an album cover. And they're like, oh, you designed all these other album covers, design our album cover. And I was like,
you don't have to say them on stream if you don't want to, but I would like to see those, because I love music and
this
all
guy
that shit
loves
too. Music is my shit, man. Anything with music is... I also do drawing and editing and all that other stuff too, and photography, but I love music. That's like my favorite shit. So
yeah, if you have any of the earlier stuff, we won't show it on stream if you don't want. But
and I don't know if it's like bad blood with any bands, because sometimes people do like a design for somebody and then they have a falling out when another commission comes up. So you just never know. So
that first one is on my website. It was for Action Adventure. So they did an EP called the Last Minute Stuntman. It was the first one that I ever did commissioned that was traditional, and also the last that was traditional.
Oh damn!
And that was we were going on about like revisions, and like that first one I learned so many lessons. At the time I had already been also working digitally, so I was like half traditionally, half digital.
Okay.
And so with digital artwork, you can like move stuff around, you can Command Z.
Yep.
So like it's so much easier to change stuff. Oh yeah, I did say Command Z.
I was gonna say
I
Command
used
Z.
to edit and work on Mac, so I heard it and like,
so
nice.
we got someone who's an Apple user over here.
No.
Yeah.
We're
they
on your
do.
website right
they
now.
Do, like. Oh,
Yeah, please close it.
No, this is fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is so cool, dude. I looked at your stuff the other day and I'm like, damn, you sent me the skating skeleton, and I'm like, oh, BRB, let me follow you.
Yeah, exactly. It's such good
thank
art.
you.
Yeah, of course, dude. Very cool.
So like now I draw everything like in Photoshop layers. Every different object has its own folder, because people will like, can you just change that one object or move it over like
or
3 millimeters?
That,
and like if I had, yeah. So that first EP was drawn on like a piece of computer paper with a marker.
Hell yeah.
And they were like, hey, can you move this? Can you move this? Can you move this? And every time I had to like redraw it, and I was like, okay, this is the last time.
My thing though with that is like, I'll do digital stuff, but I like to take physical drawings or whatever and scan them, and then I'll turn them digital to where I can edit things however I want, to where it still looks like a real drawing. And because I'm just like psycho and like to spend a lot of hours editing shit in Photoshop just to see that I can do it. It's just like,
oh, Jasher's in the comments. Apple users rise up. I would if I wasn't poor, Jasher.
You've got an iPhone. That's fine.
I stole this.
By that he means it was such a good deal. That's what he meant. It was years ago. We're on stream.
it literally fell off the back of a truck. And I was like, I can't.
Literally.
I couldn't return this to anyone. I was just like, I guess I have an iPhone now.
It literally fell off of a truck one day. Like in the most literal
I was
sense.
Gonna say, are you sure you want to say that though? Because it fell off a truck.
No, I mean like. We're switching full cam. He literally watched it fall off a truck as the truck is going away, like movie style. Like
the thing was open and a box fell out,
and then they just kept going. So
I was like, all right,
guess I'll.
Wow. That's like if the dog actually ate your homework.
But it did though.
I just saw Joe pour as a mental choice. Thanks, Joe.
There's a running joke with graphic designers that like every clause of a contract is because somebody really fucked up, and that is like every new project. I feel like there's something that like I have to like make an amendment or something.
Yeah.
No, like some people are great though. Like for every post that I post about like someone being like a bad client, there's like hundreds of good ones that's good. I should actually probably post about more.
I was gonna say like me and him have gotten like into not altercations but into like debates. I guess
discussions, whatever.
Discussions like when you did the Season of the Curse logo and he showed it to me the first time. He was like, "I know you hate it."
I was like, "I know you're gonna
hate
it," and I sent it.
I was like, "No, I don't hate it." But then it was later when you wanted to make the stroke on it white, and I was like, I don't want that, and you're like, come on, it's so good, and we had a big thing about that.
Just like a long conversation more than anything, because we're just like talking about why we liked or didn't like strokes on certain things and why they're good for certain colors and shit.
Like what I was saying, like that's something that I had to really kind of let go early on, but it really depends on the project. Because if it's like a tiny thing, like sometimes one of the graphic design things that you learn in school is like if you take it away and it doesn't add or subtract anything from it, like the piece didn't need it.
Yep.
And there's a lot of that happening. So someone will be like, especially with negative space, that one's kind of the most obnoxious. Someone will be like, what's with all the white space? Fill it all up. And I'm like, it's breathing room. It's gonna feel
There's
so
too much
like
going on with
it's gonna make me claustrophobic. I work with a creative agency to do stuff for like bigger companies. So like I've been working on a lot of stuff for like Heineken and like Dos Equis.
Oh yeah.
And that's like one of the reps is like, oh, it hates white space. So every time like I design something and there's white space, he's like, no, fill it up. And then the piece looks so cluttered and I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I'm picking my battles and this is not going to be one of the battles. I'm just going to fill it up and you know what? You're happy with it. I'm just gonna let it go
and cry later about it.
A little bit, yeah.
It's like American football coming with that one album, and it's like, oh, I don't like that the sky is in the background. Put some trees there. So,
they bought that house.
They did buy that house. That was really cool.
So cool. We were gonna take a trip there. We just haven't done it.
We just walk outside the American football house and just wave at them now.
I remember when that house went up for sale, and Twitter was like, my Twitter like broke.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably follow a lot of like bands, especially local bands on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have any real plans to like record or release any music in the future?
Oh my god, I want to. Like, it's something that I really want to do, but I kind of feel like I probably should have done that when I had the security of a full-time job. Because, you know, working for yourself, if I'm not working, I'm not getting paid. So it's kind of like the creator's guilt. It's horrendous sometimes. But, like, when I'm sitting there, like, making music, sometimes I'm, like over my shoulder is just like the shadow of, hey, you have these 3 commissions that have to get done, get them done, and it gets so bad sometimes that I'm like, okay, I can't do this. So I end up having to like go back to work and stuff. But I want to. Like, I've always talked about like my friends who were in the band before. We've always talked about like making other projects and stuff, but you know, life got in the way, and I'm trying to make it not get in the way. So hopefully,
same here.
sometime
Same for both of us for sure.
Especially on like Life Gets Away. I do this TTRPG audio drama. It's a high school teen detective story, like murder mystery thing, and the whole overarching theme is just like life getting in the way and just like this idea of freedom passing you by because things get muddied and busy. So I completely get it, and that's kind of the things we struggle with especially with this stream. It was so hard to kind of get everything set to go. What you were saying about how like the creative guilt before you, Nate and I have had many conversations about this stream about how it was like a
I couldn't do much of anything up until like recently with like, I was like, I'll start it and I'm like, oh, I got to do this for the stream and think about this for the stream and this and that. Fuck.
Is there anything you wanted to plug, anything? Because we're about to jump to our next guest and I didn't want to take any time away from you.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything I want to play. I just want to say like, donate to this movie because it'll be really fun.
I appreciate that so much, Shannon. Season of the Curse was the original. We're gonna make Season of the Curse 2 better with everybody's help, and
there's a link in the description to donate. We already did, as of a few hours ago, had $143 like 3 hours in or so, which is insane. Thank you to whoever donated. We don't know yet, but that is very cool. Expecting to get less than 5.
That was one of the things starting this is like Nate was like, I don't know if I want to go through 8 hours, and then at the end of the night it's $5 from my dad saying I'm going to bed at night.
Yeah, 8. Like my dad says, love you, buddy. Going to bed at like 7:30, and I'm like, fuck.
But again, I just want to say for anyone listening, this whole stream wasn't about the money. It was literally just about trying to connect with small content
It was more
creators.
spreading awareness of like just what we do, and then people that we like or think their work is cool. If we could get whoever on and
Shannon, you have some great art. I'm gonna plug your stuff. ShanCon.art is your website, and you have ShanConArt on Twitch. Great artist. If you have the chance, please commission her. She's great. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to talk to you more in the future. And again, if you have any music or any art, I'll be following you on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. So can't wait to see what you have to bring in the future.
Yeah, very cool talking to you. Nice meeting to you. Love your work.
This has been fun. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Shan.
Bye.
Bye.
I try to let them hang up now so I don't accidentally hang up early as